Right, I always say when we get the quadratic under calculus, when you get the quadratic, you must remember now this is the derivative. When you get the quadratic under cubic functions, now you must know that this is the derivative of what? This is the derivative of f. Quickly, when you look at this question 9 November 2010, they are saying now the graph of y is equals to g prime of x is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. Then I can see now this one must be the derivative of what? It must be the derivative of g. And h at x, of course, is a straight line. The graph of y is equals to is derivative of the graph of a cubic function g. Now here it is now. They are saying now the graph of g prime of x is the derivative of what? Is the derivative of the cubic function g. A is the x-intercept of h. Where is a? There it is a. And now we have b is the turning point of g. There it is b. And also AB is parallel to the y-axis. Right. Boys and girls, look at the first question there. Write down the coordinates of E. Write down the coordinates of E. Of course, E, we cannot use g prime. Why? Because we don't know what is the equation of this one. But of course, you take h, because h at x there is equals to 2x minus 4. Then you let x to be 0 at this point here. Therefore, y is equals to 2 times 0 minus 4. Then it means you are going to have minus 4. The coordinates of E there is what? The coordinates of E is 0 and minus 4. Right. Boys and girls, I want us to go quickly now to 9.2. 9.2 says now determine the equation of the graph of g prime in the form y is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. Right. Now, it means now this is the quadratic, boys and girls. You remember last time, you did the quadratic functions. Now, what is important is when you determine the equation of the quadratic functions, you need to check the following. The given information, if it is the x-intercept, then of course it will be x1 as well as x2. But if it's a turning points, it will be a into x minus p all squared plus q. But when I look at this information here, we are given the what? We are given the x-intercept. It means now I will say y is equals to a into x minus x1 and x minus x2, right? Now we substitute that one to say this will be x minus 2 and x minus 6, which is equals to now x plus 2 and x minus 6, right? We are happy now with the information that we have, but now the challenge is now the value of what? The value of a. What do? Remember, most of the time, if not always, the point must be given on that graph so that you cannot be able to determine the value of, a. Then it means now we substitute the point. What is the point that we're going to substitute there? It's a, which is 0 and minus 6. Now we have minus 6 is equals to a into 0 plus 2 and 0 minus 6. Of course, 2 times minus 6 there. The answer there will be what? Will be minus 12a. Then this one is a minus 6. Then I divide by minus 12, divide by minus 12. Then a is equals to 1 over 2. Right, boys and girls, now you have a. You just substitute this one to say y is equals to here 1 over 2 into x plus 2 as well as x minus 6. Then you multiply the brackets and you get x squared minus 4x minus 12 multiplied by half. Then you have half x squared minus 2x minus 6. Right, boys and girls, now this one will be the equation that is g prime of x, which is the derivative of what? Which is the derivative of g. It's very important you can get something like this one in the paper. Right now, write down the x coordinate of the turning point of g. Boys and girls, I will be happy to get this type of questions because I know that the x coordinate of the turning point of g will be what? Will be the x-intercept of the graph of g prime. Then it means the answer for this one will be the x coordinates of the turning point, that is x is equals to minus 2 and also x is equals to 6. Then the x coordinates of the turning points will be the x-intercept of the graph of the derivative g prime. Right, the last one now, write down the x coordinate of the point of inflection of the graph of g. boys and girls, this one is very interesting. That is why earlier on I've mentioned now those options that we can use when you determine what? When you determine the x coordinate of the point of inflection, right? What is it that you can do here? Two options. You can use x is equals to minus b over 2a, or you can use x is equals to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. This one, you just take the x-intercept of the graph. You say this is minus 2 plus 6 divided by 2. Then the answer there will be what? The answer there, minus 2, that is 4 over 2, which is equals to 2. Exactly the same when you take what? When you take x is equals to minus b over 2a, or finding the derivative, because now you have what? Because now you have half x squared minus 2x minus 6. Okay, boys and girls, now in closing, now we have 9.5 that says now explain why g has the local maximum at x is equals to minus 2. Remember now, the maximum, we said we will have the maximum value name if the graph increase first and decrease after, or we'll have the minimum when the x decrease and increase, right? When you look at this one here, that is a point C where x is 2. Then f prime of x here, f prime of x is greater than 0. We agree on this one. It means that is g now. G prime of x is greater than 0. It means now g here, g at x here is increasing. Then it is increasing. G here, it is increasing, right? Now, you can see now the second one here below the x-axis here, you can now say g prime of x, it is less than 0, right? If it's less than 0, then our graph now is decreasing. Therefore, g at x now is what? Is decreasing, right? It is decreasing, right? Now, let us look at the shape now. I said g prime of x is greater than 0, then it means g at x is increasing. It means we have something like this one here. G is increasing, therefore immediately now after minus 2 now, g now decreasing. Can you see now? If increase and decrease, then we see now we are going to have the local maximum at x is equals to minus 2, because at this point g prime of x is less than 0. It means g is decreasing. If it's decreasing, remember where x is less than where a is less than 0 and increase. Now this one will give us the minimum. Boys and girls, make sure that you understand, you are able to interpret these graphs. It's very important. Now I know that of course there are a lot of marks under calculus functions as well as the rules and first principles, right? Make sure that you practice this one. I know you are going to make it at the end of this year, especially on Friday where you will be writing paper 1. Good luck, boys and girls. You are writing this afternoon. Make sure that you push harder to make sure that next year you smile. Thank you very much.